All right. Well, thanks for joining. We do have a new process. This is specific to relocation and referrals. And I'm not going to put her on the spot because I didn't tell her I was, but Paulette, if you want to just wave. This is
Hello.
Paulette. She is our new relocation coordinator. She's fantastic. And no, her, Lynn, and Shelly are not in the same room, even though it looks like they are. So Paula actually works from her home in Ohio, but she is supporting all of Michigan. So from Marquette all the way down to South Haven. She comes to us with many years of experience, so we're happy to have her on the team. But one thing we found out after Sam's departure is we really didn't have a notification process for referrals and relocation. Some of you would GChat Sam, some of you would call, someone would send emails, carrier pigeon, not real sure. There was no process. So because we already have our tool .loop, we're going to utilize .loop in the relocation referral notification process, just like we would for listings or closings or under contracts. So we're taking a current process, tweaking it slightly. That way it's something familiar to everyone already. And that's something that Paulette can use for her notification. If Paulette's on vacation and somebody's filling in, we simply have the notifications go to them. So it's going to be a much smoother process. Now it is new, we know that. So it's going to take a little bit of a learning curve. But it's a fairly minimal change to what the process actually is. So thank you guys for joining, and thanks Paulette for the wave. We're happy to have you on the team. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Once I pick the correct tab, sorry, so many tabs. We're just going to do this. That way when I'm flipping back and forth, I don't lose you guys. Okay, so the first document I want to show you is the new job aid that we had created. Thank you, Jessica, for creating this. This is already in the ASC drive in the referral and relocation folder. Now, there are two slightly different process flows. So you want to go to the one named NOMI, of course, Northern Michigan. There's a slightly different process for Terry in the South. So make sure you have the one that says Michigan North. So this is going to kind of show you exactly what the new process is. And again, it's really just the notification part that's different. Everything else is pretty much kind of the same. So to talk through it real quick, the agent submits the property to the ASC, whether it's a purchase or a listing. If it's a listing referral, Paulette still has information she needs. So it'd be really nice to notify her at the time of listing if you know about it, right? You don't always know about it. That's the hardest part of this whole process, is just getting the information from the agent. So once you're aware that there's a referral, then the rest of the process flow goes. ASC creates, updates the property in Darwin Cloud with listing or purchase information, depending on what kind of transaction you're doing. And then the next step is where it's slightly different. So the ASC is going to change the workflow stage to referral. That then sends Paula and Aaron a notification so that they know there's a referral on this. Then what happens is Paula updates the commission notes and reviews the referral information on the property record in Darwin Cloud. From here, she's going to change it to listing approved or approved for commission. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that she has approved the referral information. If it's a non-departmental referral, which means it didn't come from Paulette, it's agent to agent, or if it's an agent that's had a longstanding relationship with maybe a Schmidt referral network agent, and so they're doing it outside of the department, she's still going to mark that as approved. It just means that it's not her referral to have. She doesn't have the information, and she puts the notes in Darwin saying non-departmental. From there, the regional commission specialist knows that they will then put in the referral information into Darwin based on the paperwork that is in .loop. And we'll talk about that part in just a minute. Kind of the same process when the property goes to close. So that was on the listing and the purchase side. So same kind of concept. When the referral closes, ASC is doing the same process flow they always do, and then submits the closing to the regional commission specialist with the closing workflow. And then Erin, our regional commission specialist, closes the property. She then changes the closing workflow stage to closed with referral. That notifies Paulette. Paulette takes the information she needs to put into her systems, and we're good to go. The referral check goes out of HQ. Closed transaction, everybody's happy. So let's talk a little bit about how you know it's a referral. So obviously on the listing side, we just kind of have to hope that the agent lets us know, right? Usually they will have some sort of referral agreement in their loop, not always. If they are at the purchase part and we have a closing cover sheet, obviously this part here in the middle should be filled out. Now, what we're asking the ASCs to do is if that section's filled out, but there's not paperwork, there's not a referral agreement, there's nothing in the loop, we're asking that to get kicked back to the agent. Nothing should move forward in the process until we have the documentation that we need. So whether it was an email or however the agent had this referral done, we need to get the documentation from them and we need to get it in the loop. Then we can go through the process flow of marking it with the referral so that it notifies the parties that need it. If you have an agent, and I know this never happens in our offices, but if you have an agent that doesn't fill out the closing cover sheet, but they have a referral agreement in the loop, we're going to ask that you put that information on the closing cover sheet and then go through the flow with the referral. That way it goes to all the parties that need to have it, and they can decide if it's for Paulette and it's departmental, that's great. She'll have what she needs. If it's non-departmental, she'll be able to put the notes into Darwin Cloud. The regional commission specialist will then know what they need. So in Loop, you'll see now in your workflows that there is the option for referral. So closing, close with referral, referral, referral. So Jessica, and thank you, Jessica, has set up that on the back end. When you're choosing the workflow for referral, Paulette will get the notifications that she needs. She'll be able to do the work in her systems. And then Paulette's been trained on the workflow from her perspective so that it's going through each department that needs it. It's going from agent to ASC to relocation to regional commission specialists, depending on the type of property, whether it's a listing, a purchase, or closed. So what we're asking for you guys to do is to make sure that you're choosing the proper workflow. And again, this document here really takes you step by step through the process. Now, Erin has graciously accepted the fact that if it's non-departmental, she will assist in getting that referral information into Darwin. So if the notes say non-departmental, she'll see there's a referral. She'll know to go in and put the referral information in there. Now, if you as the ASC are used to doing that, if it's always been part of your process flow, Erin knows that you're doing it. She can just double check your work and everything will flow through the process as it should. So again, the only change in the process really is that step in Loop where you're marking it as referral. And that is what sets the notification to Paulette. You no longer have to email or chat or call her. The system will do the notification for us. I'm going to go ahead and pause in case Jessica or Erin want to include anything in what I'm saying here.
Oh, I think that's good.
Yep, I think so too. I think you made all the major points, which it's pretty simple. It's really just making sure the referral part's filled out and changing it to that referral. And that's mostly what the ASCs need to do.
Perfect. So again, just to reshare, if you're in Shared Drive, you go to ASC Procedures and you want to go to Referral Relocation, and you'll see here that we have the North and the South. So just make sure you're pulling the North workflow, and that will give you the information that we showed on the screen. So what questions do you guys have for us? Whether it's myself, for Erin, for Jessica, for Paulette. Pam Kelly has a hand raised. Go ahead, Pam. Oh, she's looking for her on mute.
Sorry, my bad. So when you say that it has to be in the workflow stage to referral, that's in the dot loop, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And you are adding that as a set. I just want to make sure I understand exactly how to do that.
Yep. So that step would be right here. ASC changes the workflow stage to referral, which will then notify Paulette and Erin. So I'm in the actual template section here just to show you all the different ways, but the normal way you would tag it.
Okay.
Yep. You just would then instead use referral.
But more often than not, the dot loop comes to me from a agent. So I'm adding this.
Correct. If the agent's sending it to you, you see that there's a referral, hopefully on the closing cover or through the paperwork that's in the loop. You're going to then, obviously you do all your checking like you normally would. You make sure
Right.
the file looks good, and then you would mark the workflow as referral at that time. That's what then notifies on the down end, Paulette and or Aaron.
Okay. And nothing changes in Darwin, like nothing in status changes.
No, correct.
Okay.
Basically, Pam, what's taking the place of it is you would automatically change it to approved for commission if you don't return it to the agent. If they're missing info or anything like that, documents, you would return it. But once you do have it approved, you would mark it. It would normally be marked approved for commission. But if there is a referral now, we're just making it, and we're having you change it to referral, which then will go to Paulette, and then Paulette will mark it back to approved for commission so that you know that that paperwork's ready so that it can be paid.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you're doing an EMD, you know, you know, submitted the first time, it gets moved to received, but unless you change it to deposited, no notification is sent. This would be the same thing for Paulette. So if you don't change the status of that folder from listing to referral, then she will not get any notification from us that there's a referral on this deal. So that's really what the trigger point is for Paulette, is that change.
Got it. Does this exist in our files now? In Dotloop?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I say yes, but Jessica, this is turned on, right?
Yes, it's on and functioning in all regions.
Perfect. Thank you.
And we did test it, but if anybody has any issues, just reach out.
Great. What other questions do you guys have? Nothing? Here, I'm going to stop sharing just so I can get back to the video call. Paulette, Shelley, anything you guys wanted to add? No? Okay.
I think so.
All right. Well, obviously, as with any new process, if you guys go to, you know, the next time you see a referral, you're not quite sure what to do. Go ahead, Sue.
How are we handling incoming referral checks?
If you receive a referral check to your office.
Or it's being sent, you know, if we have, you know, the agent refer somebody and, you know, we don't have any record of the property and where it's at in the process, and then all of a sudden a check shows up someplace, whether it be here or the address on the referral form.
Okay, Erin, do you want to take that one?
Yeah. So if the check comes into, usually it'll come into HQ. They will notify me that they have a check. And then I usually will go out and find the property that it matches. And then I create a property that is, you know, residential other income or commercial other income. And then I process it through that property, and then your agent gets paid. We don't really have a process of notifying, you know, the office that that check has been received, but the agent would just get their usual commission statement for that property.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Little bit of a side note, but important to mention is Schmidt Referral Network is a little bit different than it used to be. So Jeanette Hoisman is actually handling the rostering of that. So that means that she's helping the agents with their paperwork. She's helping their license transfer. She's connecting with the Schmidt Referral Networks on that. And then anytime that the Schmidt Referral Network has a closing, Fox is making those payments. So it used to all be with Sam, and now it's broken out. So if you have a question about Schmidt Referral Network, you want to go head to Jeanette. Any other referral or anything else can go to Paulette, but that is a little bit of a difference in the process as well. Doesn't really affect this process, but since we're all together and talking about relocation, which I love relocation. We just wanted to mention that. So if you guys do have questions on an agent, maybe they're wanting to retire or they're stepping back and they want to go into Schmidt Referral Network, Jeanette can help with that. And then if you're missing a check or something and an agent reached out, any of the dollars, the financials, that goes through Fox. Great. You're muted, Shelley. I see lips moving, but I don't hear nothing.
I'm so sorry, and I didn't even raise my hand. I just
That's okay.
blurting it out, and then I was on mute. But the SRN agent, obviously, the reason they have their license in our holding company is so that they can still refer business, even though they can't personally practice the business. So if they need to get a referral placed, they would then come to Paulette. So we actually have a little flyer that I think Carrie put in Schmidt Referral or schmidtresources.com under our square that kind of outlines that. If you forget after this call, Jeanette does the rostering and the licensing and all of those kind of things. Paulette is the one who will help them actually place the referrals if they have something to send. And then Fox takes care of getting them paid. So.
Yep. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a Schmidt Referral Network Square along with Relocation and Business Development Square on Schmidt Resources. So if you're looking for Paulette's contact, head to that square. It's there. So is Shelley's. So is Cindy's for Ohio and Florida. So head to Schmidt Resources if you have any of those questions. But thank you for that, Claire. Oh, and I see Jeanette's on the call too. So Jeanette, is there anything you wanted to add about that?